This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks NYC. Coach Kyle coming in from Brooklyn off a big sale of Slumberalls into Sweat from Home. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the show.
Great to see you too, Pete. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, look, you've got an interesting background, to say the least. If we were in person, I think we'd be fast friends and hanging out all the time. So why don't you give our listeners a little bit of your background and lacrosse in Israel and being an entrepreneur. It seems like you might be the serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that. So thanks so much for having me on the show. So happy to be here with you. So my background, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of definitely nothing. Where do I start? So I played lacrosse in college. I played at Drexel. Was lucky to have a great career there. Shortly afterwards, I was invited to try out and played for the Israeli national team. I played for them in 4 world championships, played against some of the best players in the world, which was a real honor. Started my corporate and professional career at Bloomingdales, where I cut my teeth learning the tricks and the trades of retail, which came to benefit me a little bit down the road. Then went to Birchbox, where I learned about startup life. Got my MBA from NYU, started selling sweatpant overalls along the way because at the beginning, I just wanted a pair of sweatpant overalls and they didn't exist. So like anyone naturally would, I just made myself a pair.
That's the best entrepreneur though. Like you got a personal frustration, you just figure out this, just I'm going to solve this myself.
Exactly. And when I was starting at business school, took an Orange Theory class for the first time in about 2016. And I was like, after all of my background, playing lacrosse at a high level, playing sports my entire life, I said to myself, I can coach this class better than this guy. And if I coach here part-time, I'll also get to take it for free. So that started my group fitness journey in New York City. Was coaching for about 4 years at Orange Theory, at Flywheel. COVID happened. And, just like any other coach, immediately reacted to it, had to replace that income for my shoebox apartment in New York City and started coaching classes online. And fast forward 9 months and Sweat from Home is about to close our first fundraising round and looking to be the best thing that ever happened to remote group fitness.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on that pivot. I think they say that, those who change evolve and live to see the next iteration. So a question for you. So you started this, did you look at other options where you could say, hey, you know what, I've got my base of members, what kind of prompted you to say, I got to build my own platform versus, hopping on Vimeo or Zoom or some of the other, there's a handful of groups out there that, are powering, personal trainers and instructors. Are you just like a big thinker and you just can't get that out of your system?
Well, we operate off of Zoom right now.
Okay.
And part of like, if I put my investor hat on for a second, and if I were to pitch you and tell you what we're going to use the money for, most of the money is going to go towards acquisition. We're solving a problem and it's sticky. We had our biggest month in November. We did about $25,000 in revenue. We had over 500 unique people come take a class, and our retention is really strong. We're using off-the-shelf, state-of-the-art technology to deliver an amazing two-way live stream workout. And two-way is the word that I want to repeat ad nauseum throughout this conversation with you, because we're one of the leaders in it. It's something that Peloton and Mirror and Tonals of the world that are doing incredible things are not doing. We are providing the same kind of unique connected experience that people would experience in person from wherever you are. And that's what's kind of led to our success so far.
Got it. So, when you looked at Zoom, I guess everyone kind of jumped on Zoom. Obviously their stock price has been indicative of that. Do you view that as a long-term solution, or do you view that there's limitations to that? Because I think there's going to be a next wave of customization in the space. So how are you thinking about that?
It's a great question.
Thank you. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate that, man.
That is a subconscious filler that I throw in there before I decide what exactly I'm going to say.
That's good. Yeah, I'll just say two-way, and you get a couple extra seconds to talk. That's all right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We would be best friends in person.
Don't doubt it.
So Anthony Venaire from Fit Insider actually said in one of his newsletters recently about arming the rebels and how everyone's going to compete against Peloton. And the way I look at Zoom right now is like an early iteration of Shopify as it relates to direct-to-consumer companies. And so we're looking for platforms that can help us deliver what we're good at. I'm spending all of my energy every day delivering the best connected workout, the best two-way workout every day. We don't want to spend our energy trying to develop proprietary software because we're able to utilize whoever is the winner in that space. We want to partner with them, just like the Allbirds and the Chubbies and the Brooklynens of the world. These businesses that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year are all on Shopify. And so we want to focus on what we're good at and let the technology guys focus on what they're good at and have a harmonious marriage.
That's an interesting point. So do you feel that, so talk to us about some of the early wins. You say you had 500 people. Is that on a per class basis? Is that a per day? And what are you doing to spread the word? Or is it mostly just, word of mouth, just like the boutique space kind of proliferated?
Yeah. So on March 24th.
Why don't you think that was a great question? Oh, because you had your answer already. I got you. Okay, keep going, bro. I got you.
I'm trying to iterate. I'm trying to get better here in real time. I'm coachable too.
Yeah, it's a two-way relationship we got going here. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So on March 21st, my co-founder, Brendan, and I got an email from a business who we will not name right now that said, "Thank you for your service. You are now let go." Brendan, 17 minutes after that email was sent, texted me and said, "Okay, what business are we starting?" Unbeknownst to me, Brendan had wanted to start a business with me for some time because he had seen what I had done with Swoveralls. He knew that I had just graduated from NYU Business School. I was teaching entrepreneurship at St. Francis College. And he's like, let's start something. So the next day, we held our first class with about 25 people in it. We were able to hit the ground running because we had a huge community of people that loved seeing us in person and coming to our classes. Shortly after Brendan and I started Sweat From Home, we acquired Bethany Welch, who is our third co-founder. Bethany is one of, if not the best coach that I know. And she had a community that was just as big as Brendan and ours. So we were able to double our size overnight. And since then, we've acquired more coaches. Up until this point, our cost to acquire a customer has been theoretically zero because it's been word of mouth. We have a really robust referral program, and we've acquired coaches that had a following and knew how to deliver an amazing group fitness experience.
So, as you look at, Flywheel and you take a look at Orange Theory, obviously you need a bike, at home for Flywheel. And they took a run at trying to, compete against Peloton. That didn't do well. I think Orange Theories, probably took them several months to figure out what their digital offering would be. And it doesn't give people the same, at least not right now, the same experience. So what have you kind of pivoted towards or, felt like, hey, I could deliver this type of workout over Zoom, but there's certain things I'm not going to go to because I don't feel like it's poised for how you, assume that you want the experience to be.
Yeah. So given our background in boutique group fitness studios, we knew what a great in-person workout experience feels like. And that's why we've been successful. Like Peloton is one way and kind of copied the studio experience if you're sitting in the back row at like a Flywheel or a SoulCycle class. But they didn't copy the experience if you're at an Orange Theory or a Barry's and you're in the front row. The coaches that are currently at Orange Theory and Barry's don't know how to deliver that front row experience online. Right around the time that COVID started, I was teaching entrepreneurship at St. Francis College through Zoom, and I was utilizing Zoom's breakout room technology to create different smaller groups for my students. From day one, Brendan and I use the breakout room technology to create a switch block atmosphere. Now, look, I have no problem saying this, and some coaches, I hope they listen to this and they're like, holy shit, I didn't even know you could do that through Zoom, and excuse my French, but look, go out there and do it. Look, sweatpant overalls, there's nothing proprietary about this. If anyone else wants to go out and make sweatpant overalls, go for it. This is about building a brand and about building a community with people, not building a community for people, which is why I think Sweat from Home is onto something special.
I mean, it's a great point you made. I was trying to sell a business, or raising capital for a business, and someone's like, hey, all that company has is a great brand. And I'm like, okay, where else do you need, right? A brand is a promise that stands for something that someone's want to pay a premium for. So you could have great products and a terrible brand, and you're not going to sell anything. I got a brand, and I'm actually going to, use that as kind of a trampoline for the products, if you will. So it's an interesting point. I want to pivot for a second. I'm going to two-way myself right now. I don't know if that's even possible. But the fact that you are a professor, and I saw that you're an adjunct professor and you did that at NYU as well, right?
Yes, correct.
So do you feel that you being a coach academically is actually kind of allows you to be a coach athletically?
I was a group fitness coach before I taught in an academic setting, but what both provide me with is a certain type of perspective that is cathartic and refreshing for me as an entrepreneur. Sometimes I just have to get away from myself, and the fact that I'm able to work out in real time with a class and sweat and acquire endorphins and get paid to do that, and also build a brand to do that is incredible. Like, I just feel extremely grateful. And as far as the academic side of things, I've been so lucky to have incredible teachers and mentors along the way. And so to be able to tell kids how to calculate gross margin, or the best, don't go and start something on LegalZoom. I want you to go out into the corner and see if you can get people to buy your stuff first, see if there's demand before you go through, developing a quote business model. So it's nice to kind of use experience and give back in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, it's good. That's great. So, there's a number of groups that have gone into the digital space. There's very low barriers to entry, obviously. As you see some of these other people come into the sector that either aren't in technology, so to speak, or they don't have instructors that have relationships. Does that frustrate you? Does that kind of say, hey, let's, Darwinian this whole space and we'll see what happens? Because we've gotten hit with a lot of different people, and look, they're all ambitious, and they all, maybe some of them do their research and some of them don't. So it's questionable whether, they see a white space, or they just assume that there's a white space. So, how do you think about that? Or do you kind of just brush it off and say, I'm on the track, I got my lane, I'm not going to worry about who else is doing things? Or, how do you think about that as an entrepreneur?
So it was because of the pandemic, we kind of, and through some sort of weird startup reverse osmosis, we kind of realized the problem that we were solving a little bit after we had some really compelling traction. If you've ever taken an online fitness class, you might know, like most people, that they suck. Most of them suck. Because they suck, people don't like doing them. The reason they suck is because they're isolating, they're inaccessible, and they lack real connection. Every Sweat from Home coach is trained to say everyone's name when they come into class. Hey, Pete, how's your day been going? We're going to give you positive encouragement over the course of the workout, and we're going to say goodbye. We can't wait to see you again at the end. At least 2 to 3 touch points every class. That's just something that we were classically trained to do. I'm not looking of the likely outcomes of raising money. What I'm looking at doing is building a brand that is highly profitable and is operating at a $5 to $10 million EBITDA in 2.5 to 5 years. I think we can achieve that if we keep our eyes on the prize of saying hi to Pete every time, because that interaction, that dopamine rush that people get when they're being told that burpee was awesome in front of a group of 25 people is scalable. And it's something that, is it defensible? I mean, we've seen people do it really successfully, and in a crowded market, I think that we're, to your point, we're going to stay in our lane and we're going to do what we do really, really well.
Yeah, we had Ruth Zuckerman on, and she said that call out, was really from when she was a kid in dance in a dance studio growing up, or and I, look, I feel I was on I'm not bragging, but I'll tell you a quick story. Well, I am bragging. So there were 290 people in the Soul Cycle class online that I did with a guy named James J, who's actually hilarious. But I got like 2 shout outs in the class. And I got to tell you, I was in my second bedroom of, a small apartment, and it motivated me, even though I was, remote, whereas in the class in the studio, like that was important to me to get that nod. I'm sure it's important to other people. So let me ask you a question. So as you scale this, you go from 25, I was on a Soul Cycle class, I had 290 people. Do you guys cap the people in the class specifically for that? Or do you say, hey, whoever I want to be here for everyone if the time works?
No, we cap. And I think, the anecdote, can I tell a little story too? It's not about me getting.
Well, I mean, it kind of shows actually about you. Like, it's not called like Pete Moore's Halo Talks. It's just called Halo Talks. So talk away. So
we cap the classes. We cap the classes because it's really important to us to create that semi-private experience every time. A lot of our classes have 2 coaches in it. So that's another signature that we have. We do breakout rooms. We have 2 coaches. Part of the reason we have 2 coaches is that one coach is always demonstrating and actually physically doing the exercises with you. The other coach is looking at everyone, making sure that their form is great, making sure that Pete's crushing it, and getting that chest all the way down to the ground. So here's the anecdote. On the podcast, How I Built This with Guy Raz, he talks to the founders of Five Guys. And one of the things that always stuck with me about that story was that people were trying to sell them on cheaper mayonnaise. Like, hey, look, you're paying too much for your mayonnaise. Use this mayonnaise. And he said, absolutely not. The mayonnaise is so important. It's what makes the burger. People come back to Five Guys, not because of the mayonnaise specifically, but unknowingly, like subconsciously, that's why. And so for us, we're not going to get up to 290 people in class because around 40 is our mayonnaise. Like, that's what makes us special.
That's awesome. So I got to make 2 counterpoints, if I may. Please. One is I am a huge Five Guys, and I always get a side of mayo. And Ganilin's probably seen me dipping my burger in a lettuce wrap in mayo, and that it is very important. I also like the fact that they run the Five Guys like they're running a fish market. So anytime you order, it's like 2 patties. So everyone's talking at all times. You got to be on point. Actually, I haven't been in any class where I've seen 2 instructors in the fitness industry getting off my patties to sweat at home. So I think that's very unique, and it's really smart. I don't think people intuitively have thought about that yet. So I'm glad that you did.
Yeah. And again, like I hope more people start doing it because it'll just bring more awareness to it's delivering a better experience. Work from home and working out from anywhere is here to stay. We want to be leaders, but we don't want to be the only ones in helping deliver a better group fitness workout. Fitting Room was one of the businesses that kind of pioneered the 2-coach model in person. And we're just translating that to online. Going back to Five Guys for a second, I think it's an ironic kind of metaphor to analogize fast food to the fitness industry. It's certainly ironic, but also applicable in a lot of ways because how saturated is that market? Yet Five Guys came in and was able to make a lot of noise because they were focusing on their premium product relative to other players within the market. And so some of our investors talk about Five Guys all the time and how we can kind of apply that learning to what we're doing at Sweat From Home.
Yeah, that's great. What other companies in other industries, take a couple of minutes to think about this. What other companies in other industries do you think, you aspire to, or that you've taken some learnings from, whether it's from How I Built This or, just in things that you personally, champion?
Yeah. So, one thing that great question, because, this is, really teeing me up nicely. So Sweat from Home's mission is to deliver an amazing two-way connected fitness workout with coaches that actually see you and care about you. But we also have an amazing give back program that is also, I believe, unique to what's going on right now in the fitness industry. For every class credit that is purchased, we donate a class to an individual or a community that's in need of an amazing workout. Additionally, we hold 2 completely free group fitness workouts a week with 100% of the proceeds that go to nonprofits that align with our values about helping spread the health and wellness and just the vibe out there. So Patagonia is and Yvon Chouinard and what he's done with Patagonia, and just the ruthlessness of wanting to help the planet first and then make quality products, is someone who is just incredibly inspiring to me. I think Warby Parker and Tom Shoes and Bombas Socks, like these are all incredible brands, direct to consumer, that have been able to be selfless from a give back standpoint, but are also for-profit businesses that are making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, I was working on something recently, and the health club industry is so antiquated, whereas somebody uses this term called sleeper members. It's like, we don't want to communicate with these members because we're going to wake them up. And if we wake them up, then they might cancel. And I'm like, if you ever use that fucking word with me again, we're not going to be working together, because we're here to get results for people. And then we want them to tell other people to get results like they did. So if they're a sleeper, then they're not part of your community, and you're basically just tapping their credit card, without them knowing effectively, or that they're so lazy that you're taking advantage of them. So, that's a great point. I think a lot of companies sometimes get so big that they lose sight of what they were created for. You get some companies that take in private equity capital or venture capital, and I love SoulCycle, so I'm not going to say anything bad about them ever. However, ... I walk into that place pre-COVID 5 days a week, and everyone's nice and they say hello to me, but no one's ever asked me, hey man, what do you want to achieve? Like, how can I help you be better? Like, those 2 questions would change the narrative with me. And then I'll pay the $36. But if you actually care, and you can care because you got enough personnel there to care, but they're not trained to care enough. I'm going to get off my soapbox right now, and I'm going to transfer it back to you.
Well, Pete, you keep teeing me up beautifully, because to kind of take that a step further.
Please do. Build upon that, as we'd say in business school.
Yeah. This two-way, you want to come and be a guest coach with us? Because we would deliver.
Oh, bro, I would just love to sit in a class. I want to basically teach a finance class while people are working out.
Yes.
At the same time, I want to do an educational boot camps. And I'll go up there, I'll tell people, okay, this is about EBITDA, CAGRs, I'll do everything, and then they'll sweat and they'll leave, and we'll give them all the jargon. So if you want to do that together, we could demo that, like a Halo Academy Sweat from Home mashup, and we'll just all wear sweateralls.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to do 10
Christmas lights in the back. You reform Jew, you?
We got These are non-denominational lights, man.
They're denominational, bro. Trust me, we didn't have any Hanukkah bushes back in the day.
All right, so at station 1, you're going to do 10 push-ups. At station 2, I'm going to need the weighted average cost of capital and a discounted cash flow. You got to talk the talk, walk the walk. The king of New York, crack a lack, attack the black, the crack the back. Anyway, keep going. Sorry about that. So, to your point about walking out of a SoulCycle or walking into a SoulCycle, and someone asking you about what your dreams are from a fitness standpoint, Sweat from Home. And when we talk to investors and when we talk to our team and to our members, we say today we're the best live streaming two-way group fitness workout in the world. But tomorrow we want to be the first and best 100% digitally native fitness studio. And so everyone is a little bit fragmented in one way or another, but how amazing would it be if Pete could come to a Sweat from Home class And then also, because you signed up for an unlimited membership, you get a free consultation with one of our certified health coaches. And if you want to meet with that person, you can do so within the Sweat from Home universe. We have one-on-one personal training. We have mindfulness classes. And so these are the things that we're really excited to be working on. I mean, we're trying to be the passionate digital love child of like a Barry's boot camp in your local YMCA. What does that look like? It's Sweat from Home.
I like that. And I like the analogies. You know, the interesting part about starting up a company like this is there's no constraints to the business. There's no permitting. There's no locker rooms. You know, I'm working on a deal right now where we're negotiating 100 leases. I mean, think about like the time and energy they get sucked into a bricks and mortar business. And then they want to do digital, you know, while they're exhausted. You know, so yeah. I love what you're doing. Let's get in a class. Why don't you give us a quote to live by, or something that you want to share with our Halo community here before we get going?
Yeah, so I'm gonna skip the quote. As a business guy, I'm just gonna share with the Halo community that you could use code HALO for $10 off a 2-for-1 class. That's 2 classes for $0. Code HALO, sweatfh.com. I'd love to see you in there. It'll be me and Coach Pete getting you on the burpees, getting you on the EBITDA.
I love it. All right, I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad that code was not taken before this, so that's great. Second, I want to welcome you into the Halo Academy, because you got to take the January 101 class with us. Will be awesome, and I'm really excited that we got time together, and look forward to working out with you and getting to know you and helping you guys on your trajectory here, because you're going to help millions of people, and it's just a matter of time. So thanks for what you do, and I'm glad we had a chance to chat.
Yes, likewise, Pete. Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
As we continue to build our Halo Talks email notification database, want to offer you a free $10 instant gift card from our friends at Promotion Vault. Also, to show you how easy it is to offer your members and prospects and clients the ability to get desired actions out of them and reward them in real time, go to halotalks.com. Put your email address into the pop-up box, see how it works, get a free $10 gift card from us, and keep listening and making everybody great.